Welcome back to Chanhassen High School. Sam Extra with you, Prep Spotlight TV. We sincerely apologize for any technical difficulties that you've experienced, and we are regretting that we've missed potentially a number of beautiful goals in the past few minutes here from the Egan Wildcats. If this is the first you're seeing of the game, Egan comes in here as the #1 seed. Lakeville North unseeded, but was very spry in the first quarter. Panthers led this thing 3-2 with 3 minutes to go in the first, but Egan has rattled off 5 consecutive goals. And the Panthers now, coached by 7th-year man Jeff Wright, trying to get back in business. Egan's the top seed in the tournament. There's a whistling shot wide to their keeper, John Currington, and the Wildcats have control. If you have just joined us, we'd like to remind you that this broadcast is presented in part by the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation, treating addiction, transforming lives. By the Urgency Room, in fast, home soon. By Comcast, find the best cable TV and internet packages with the Xfinity Double Play from Comcast. By Visit Duluth, plan your authentic Duluth getaway now. And by True Lacrosse Minnesota, experience the true difference with True Lacrosse Minnesota. Egan has the ball back, leading by 4. Scoring recap for you. Egan has 2 goals in this game from Isaac Pfeiffer. And there's a goal for Sorensen, his second of the game. A 6-0 run for the Wildcats. And Egan is up 4 here in the second quarter alone. Sorensen with goal number 28. 7:44 to go in quarter number 2, and a timeout called. Panthers will try to talk things over and stop the bleeding here. The Wildcats beat the Panthers by 4 in the season finale back on May 23rd, and they looked very collected here in the second quarter of this one. We'll step aside and hear from some of our sponsors here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Studies show that the younger a person starts using drugs and alcohol, the more likely they'll become addicted. Know the signs and symptoms. Find the resources families need at hazeldenbettyford.org/families.
Got a problem more urgent than urgent care? Not so emergent to be a full-on emergency? Want an altogether great experience? Well, then you're on the right path. The Urgency Room. Better service, better wait times, better experience. The Urgency Room.
Prep Spotlight wants to help student athletes in their quest to take their games to the collegiate level. Contact the email below, editor@schoolspacemedia.com. If you are interested in a recruiting video you can send along to college coaches. Doesn't matter the sport, we can assist in putting together a high-quality piece that can help set you apart. Again, that email address is editor@schoolspacemedia.com.
Back on the face-off X after another Egan goal and a timeout. Again, that scoring recap for you. Lakeville North scored first with Robbie Gale, then Egan scored twice. Pfeiffer and Wirtz made it 2-1. Lakeville North scored twice. Gale and Mose made it 3-2, but all Egan ever sent, and they've got another one. Big drive by Joseph Diffley. Ten seconds separating the Sorensen and Diffley goals, and Egan is up big here in the second quarter. It's a 7-0 run. That 7-0 run comprised by Pfeiffer, Sorensen, Mills, Gibson, Chivatel, Sorensen again, and now Diffley. 7 different goal scorers in the game. Clean win by Lakeville North. Panthers average 10.9 goals per game, 177 now on the season. But they're going up against a team that has scored 258 goals. Winner of this game plays Matamidi in the state semifinal Thursday at 5 o'clock in Minnetonka. Benilde St. Margaret's taking on Wyzetta in the first semifinal at 3 o'clock. We've had 2 one-goal games in our last 2 quarterfinals. The first quarter, Benilde all over Anoka, 17-4. Thrown back toward midfield, round ball. Battling for position, Egan has it. 6:50 to go in the second quarter. Nearly given away, and getting crossed up was Isaac Kuiper, who hit the 50-goal plateau earlier in this game. Lakeville North takes it back. The Panthers beat their rival Lakeville South in the section final 15-14 in overtime. Robbie Gale had the game-winning goal in OT as they played the Cougars for the 4th consecutive year in the section final. They're 4-0 in all those games. They've been a mainstay in the state tournament, and this year, maybe not their strongest season, just 9 total wins, but good enough to win Section 1. The past 3 years, they've taken 4th, and as recently as last year, 2nd place in the tourney. Sailing shot by their leading scorer, Matt Friesen. Egan will get it back. The Panthers played Prior Lake in last year's championship, losing 12-5, and a bad turnover there by Egan. Wildcats are all about fast break lacrosse. Hence the 9 goals midway through the second quarter here. Luke Spanier running away from Ben Vicelio. Jake Mills. Mills couldn't handle it. There's a rolling ground ball back toward midfield. Christian Valentini picks it up. 9-3 the score. There's Valentini. Jordan Newth rotates to Friesen. Spanier to Mills. Valentini rotates to Robbie Gale. Good movement here by the Panthers. That might have hit the cross of the goaltender, and it's into the pocket of Sorensen. Flag comes out as Spanier swung at Sorensen, playing advantage, and Egan has scored 10 in the first half. It's Aaron Propson, and the lead expands even further. 39th goal of the year for Propson. It comes with 4:58 to go in the second. 2-3 has turned into 10-3. Egan outscores teams by an average of 9 goals per game, and they are on their game here in quarter number 2. And we still have that penalty coming, or do it. Looks like they're going to bring Matt Friesen off the field. Egan scoring after the flag. There's Friesen taking a knee. Well, it's gone south here for the Panthers. At one point leading this 3-2 after the goal from Keaton Mose. They do win the draw. They've been okay on draws, but they haven't been able to finish their chances in front of the net. Valentini, a poor pass back for Robbie Gale. Working on Joseph Gallus. Sam Ekstrom with you for Prep Spotlight TV again. Sorry if we started things a little late. Not sure who caught the beginning of the game and who didn't. Some shoving there, and that'll draw a flag. Might be a cross check there as Robbie Gale went down. Gale had 2 goals in the first quarter. 4:24 to go in the second. Both these teams from the South Suburban Conference. Egan finishing second this year with a 12-1 regular season record, 8-1 in the SSC. Lakeville North, believe it or not, tied for 5th in the conference. A 4-5 conference record, but here they are at state. Five on five, Friesen still on the sideline. So we're even strength, a lot of open field right now. Jordan Newth, Scott Sather. There's Sather, the junior, careening toward the net. Now pulls up and tries to wrap it around. He's marked well by Henry Weber. Spanier centers. Robbie Gale. Gale found a man, and Corrington makes the save. The shot came from Jake Mills. John Corrington, 87 goals allowed this year, 180 saves. Going into their game against Eastview, he had a 74% save percentage, and right now the offense is making things pretty easy on the goaltender. They've now got 11 goals. Joseph Diffley has another. He's scored 2 of their last 3 and now has 7 on the year. 3:29 to go before halftime. The barrage continues. A parade of goals. 9 in a row. Our first quarterfinal of the day pitted Anoka and Benilde St. Margaret's. That was a 13-goal spread. And after 2 one-goal games in the middle of today's proceedings, this one seems to be destined for another blowout unless Lakeville North can right the ship very quickly. And still, they continue to be competitive on draws. And they'll have possession here, but not much else is working well. There's a shot and a goal. That's working well. Dylan Valentini. 10th of the year for Valentini. He's the 3rd different Panther to score in the game. Dylan and Christian Valentini, both seniors on this team. Dylan Valentini, who just scored, headed to North Dakota State to play next year. That just 13 seconds after the Diffley goal. And it snaps. An ugly 9-0 run for the Wildcats. Back on the face-off X. Egan wins it. Tate Sundberg on the doorstep. Good pass to Diffley. Look at that catch and finish. Hat trick for Diffley. He's got 3 of the team's last 4 goals. 8 on the year, and Diffley has come alive. That one came 11 seconds after the Valentini goal.
Diffley scores his 3rd of the game with the assist to Schmutzhoff. Diffley from Schmutzhoff for the Eagle Wildcats.
So a dozen for Egan. They've scored 12 or more in all but 3 games this year. They've already equaled their goal total that they had against the Panthers on May 23rd. And again off the draw, Chavato nearly had a chance. Chavato picks up, defended by Grant Robbins. 2:50 to go in the quarter. Pfeiffer had 2 in the first. Diffley with 3 here in the second. Brandon Wirtz fired off to Sundberg. That pass, or shot blocked, I should say. On the end line, picked up by Diffley. Diffley revolves around the crease. tries to switch directions and nearly snuck it past Drew Bowman. There's the senior goaltender outletting left side. Dylan Valentini across midfield and trots into the offensive zone. Kyle Gibson nearest to him. Final 2 minutes of the quarter. Egan dominance. 8-1 in the quarter. The Panthers doing very little defensively to stop them. Scott Sather off the pipe. We've had some pipes in this game. Both teams have rung bells behind the goaltenders. Robbie Gale trying to break down Gibson. Minute 25 to go in the half. There's Gale. Over it goes to Mills, now back up top. Mose misses wide. Scooped up nicely by Gale. He centers, that's errant. Reaching for it is Colin Schultz. Can't get there in time, and the Wildcats have it back. Under a minute to play. Running clock rule kicks in at 12. Egan with a dominant quarter. Exactly what you expect to see from the #1 seed. Their lone loss of the year to Eastview. That was one game before Lakeville North, so that was a bounce back game for them. Gaining some confidence going into Section 3. They scored 58 goals in the Section 3 tournament. 20 against Hastings, 19 against St. Thomas, 19 against Park. 32 seconds here for Lakeville North. Valentini missed the net. The Panthers will keep possession very close. Trying to loop it out front. Got a man. Save, Corrington. Mills had the shot. Corrington, a fine piece of work. 15 seconds to go in the quarter. Goaltender interference to call. And Egan will have it. 12.9 to go. That's enough time for this fast break squad to score. Diffley with 9. Diffley, goal line extended out in front. Denied. And the rebound picked up by the Panthers. They're going to give it back to the Wildcats, however. 4.8. 4.8, got to go. There's a move by Wirtz. And he blisters one wide. Halftime. And it's all Egan. 12-4 the score. They score 8 times in the second quarter and take an 8-goal lead into halftime here on PrepSpotlight.tv. Reminding you that we are presented in part by True Lacrosse Minnesota, a year-round training center with services including travel teams, camps, clinics, and high-level training. Get more info at mn.truelacrosse.com.
Visit Duluth. Authentic moments, authentic memories. More at visitduluth.com.
Your home for Minnesota high school sports is PrepSpotlight.tv. With dozens of free live stream games each week, catch all the action live or on demand. And if you miss an episode of Minnesota Prep Spotlight, you can see them all right here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
We're also presented by Comcast. Find the best cable TV and internet packages with the Xfinity Double Play from Comcast. Sam Ekstrom with you, PrepSpotlight.tv. It's halftime. Egan 12, Lakeville North 4. We'll rejoin you in about 9 minutes for second half action. Don't go anywhere. It's the state boys quarterfinals. Back at Chanhassen, the home of the Chanhassen Storm, and Egan has unleashed a storm on Lakeville North in this first half. 24 minutes gone. It's Egan by 8 in this broadcast that is presented in part by True Lacrosse Minnesota. True Lacrosse Minnesota uses a peer approach. Passion, energy, expertise, repetitions. Find out more at mn.truelacrosse.com. First face-off of the second half. Lakeville North is going to have to come back in this one. They trail by 8. In close games this year, decided by 3 goals or less, they are 3-4. And they will need to get this game back within at least 3 if they want to have a shot, of course. Lakeville North, not known for a prolific offense, scoring about 11 goals per game this season. As Robbie Gale takes it around the crease, and Gale emerges. Now tries to go back door to Luke Spanier, and it's into the net of John Currington. Currington, his second year as goalie, didn't completely take the reins last year. Played in 11 games, was 5-6. The Wildcats nearly had a 2-on-1 at the net front. Isaac Pfeiffer goes back to the left wing. Brandon Wirtz, 61 goals on the season. Joseph Mills. Sorensen looking to turn the corner on Keaton Mose. Sorensen for Pfeiffer. Works against Charlie Dickey. Pfeiffer, Sorensen looks for a lane and hits his spot. They're so good at finishing. The Wildcats are back up by 9. Outstanding work. It was once 3-2, and now it is 13-4 Wildcats. .36 to go in the third. Now battling for possession off the faceoff. Joseph Mills comes away with it for the Wildcats, trying to take a double-digit lead. Lone loss on the year against Eastview. There's Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer kneels down, now comes back the other direction. Aaron Propson. Defended by Carter Hennon. Over to Darby Sorensen. Joseph Mills holds it near midfield. Mills runs by Nick Gregg. Mills now behind the net. Uses the pick of Pfeiffer. Here's Mills still with it, centering feed, and a bouncing shot and a goal. Wirtz again. And the lead is 10. Wirtz with 9:36 to go in the third. A double-digit lead. And they've scored 12 out of the last 13. Conditions very heated today. And you may have thought coming in that the heat might dampen some of that fast break lacrosse that Egan likes to run, but no, sir, it hasn't. The wind still whipping pretty rapidly. Another chance here for the Wildcats. That one saved by Bowman. Wirtz gave it over to Hoffman. By the way, that last goal announcement on the first of the last 2 goals, Sorensen had his 29th of the year and a hat trick. Wirtz with his 62nd. Moving in is Powell. Left wing side, slipping, and that's kicked away by Reed Tisdale. Pfeiffer. And ahead to Powell. Right down Broadway. Good pass over the shoulder goal. They don't get any prettier than that. Brandon Wirtz with a hat trick. The Wildcats are showing off now. An 11-goal lead with 8:42 to go in the third. They're putting on an absolute display. Hat trick for Wirtz. Hat trick for Sorensen. Hat trick for Diffley. 3 of them. All with 3 for Egan. Their most goals scored this year, 20. Accomplished twice against Farmington and Hastings, and if they keep this pace up, they could very easily do it again. Although a lot of coaches call the Dogs off at 20. Clean win on the draw, Hoffman. Back for Tate Sundberg. Sundberg to Wirtz. 25 yards away. There's Chivato. We're 1 goal away from potential running time. That's whipped wide, taken by Chivato, who has 1 goal in the game. Two immaculate games and 2 that have gotten out of hand here in this state quarterfinal round. Gonna have an offsides. Benilde St. Margaret's beat Anoka 17-4 in the first quarterfinal. Then Wayzata over Eden Prairie 6-5 in the upset, sending the number 2 seed down. Here's Luke Spanier. Save made Corrington. And he's been tested. He's been very good. And he distributes right down the middle. Ground ball. Kicked around. Keaton Moe's battling for it. That trickles over to Matt Friesen. Flipped ahead, bounce pass, good fake, and a goal by Spanier. Good pass to Spanier, and then Spanier with the catch, the bluff, and the finish. Lakeville North had just 1 goal in the second, now their lone goal here in the third. Comes with 7:36 to go in the stanza. 28th of the year for Spanier. Leads the team in points and assists with 34. Ten-goal game. Lakeville North winning 42 games combined each of the last 3 years. This was a team that lost 13 seniors and probably didn't shape up to be quite as competitive, but they scrapped and clawed and kept games close. There's a good save made by Bowman. But Egan just too much this year. And the Wildcats have long been waiting for a team like this, a team waiting to break through. They've been on the verge many different seasons. And talk about heartbreak for Egan. They've reached the section final many a time and come just short, losing to Burnsville in the state qualifying game, 13-11. There's a goal from Wirtz, his 4th. $16 on the board for the Wildcats. 64 on the year for Brandon Wirtz. The senior attack. Propson had the assist. We've got about a goal a minute here in the third quarter. Back on Egan. Played in the section final in 2012 against Eastview. Lost that game 8-7. lost to Eastview 19-18 in a crazy section final the year after that, 2013. Last year, Egan making the state tournament and, in fact, playing this Lakeville North team and losing 14-11, sending Lakeville North on to the semifinals. Egan was left to play in the consolation bracket, which they won and took 5th at the state tournament. Definitely a measure of revenge here. They snapped a 5-game losing streak against the Panthers with their May 23rd win. But they're just continuing to roll. Obviously, the game they lost against Eastview was pretty competitive, 12-7, and they were taken to task in that one, losing by 5, but they have not been involved in many competitive games this year, and that trend will continue today. Good pick up by Wirtz, and the shot saved by Bowman. Tisdale around midfield. He takes down a Wildcat, and a whistle blows. In fact, Egan has not played a game this year decided by 3 goals or less. Just haven't been in that situation. Pretty amazing, especially when you consider that in our previous game we had a team in Matamidi that had been involved in 9 such games and then was involved in another one a couple hours ago. Keaton Mose notched his 20th of the season back in the first quarter. That made it 3-2 Lakeville North. That was their last lead. Friesen, Spaniard. Flips it back to the goal line extended. Played there by Schultz. Over to Spaniard. Michelio defends. Nice pass, but the shot well wide and high. Friesen looking for his first goal of the game. Their leading scorer has not gotten on the board. Still in the hands of the Panthers. Christian Valentini. Good save by Currington on the blast from Mose over his right shoulder. Currington, the junior, outlets left-hand side. And then clearance intercepted by Tisdale. Nearly a fast break for the Panthers. Loose ball controlled by Lakeville North. Robbie Gale. Under 4 to play in this third quarter. Panthers still staving off running time. That's tipped off the cross of a Wildcat. Loose ball. Spanier hauls it in. He centers, caught by Mose. Currington again. And a Hail Mary down the field. The net is empty. That will hop toward Mills. Picked up by Diffley. Now all alone is Pfeiffer. Saved by Bowman. And skittering off towards the end line. Powell has it. Diffley again. Wide open shot, Pfeiffer. Bowman again. Good saves by the goaltender of the Panthers. There's Schultz. Spaniard with it, cradling on the goal line extended. 2:40 to play in the stanza. Gale. Playing in Gale Force winds that time today. Left side, Spanier winds up and blisters that one wide. There to gain the line, Maxwell Remker, and Egan will take it back. Egan's gotten 4 from Wirtz today. That gives him 9 in his last 2 games. Right now, the goalie, Corrington, being ridden. In and out of the cross of Travadel. Couldn't make that catch. Corrington trying to hustle back into his cage. 2:05 to go in the third. Spanier scored his 28th of the year earlier in the quarter. Shot up high by Schultz. Egan ball. Funny thing about these two teams is that they both graduated 13 seniors. One team, though, got better. One team took a step back. And both made state, so clearly not too badly off. Michelio, the long pole, got marked right across midfield and lost possession. Still good battle level here by the Panthers. Their crowd trying to keep them invigorated. It's a junior-heavy team, so Lakeville North with a lot of promise for next year as well. 4 sophomores, 10 juniors, 6 seniors. Valentini fires on to the right side. Freezing. Under a minute to go in the third. Egan outscoring Lakeville North 4-1 here in this stanza. And they have it back once again. If they score here, it'll be running time in the fourth. Long blast. Taken by Corrington along the sideline. I think he wanted to put that on net and came out of his pocket errantly. 42 seconds on the clock. Big thanks to Charlie Beatty, Scott Cater, who worked with us earlier on today's broadcasts. Cater doing color for the first 3. Outstanding job by him. Mike Peterson on camera the entire time. He's a warrior. Centering feed. Unable to connect there with Jake Mills. Rolling out of bounds. 23 seconds to go in the quarter. Chance here for Egan. Not if they're going to do that. Caught by Schultz and given back right at midfield. Ground ball. Brent Hauk. Schultz with 10 seconds and his pass looking for Spanier up high. Now Egan will probably just hold it, 7.2. Hail Mary throw by Corrington, played by the goaltender Bowman, and the quarter comes to an end. 16-5, Egan on top by 11. They score 4 times in the stanza and have a commanding lead going to the final quarter. Be right back. It's the boys' state lacrosse tournament on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Visit Duluth. Authentic moments, authentic memories. More at visitduluth.com.
Tune in every Sunday night on Minnesota Prep Spotlight to see the Cub, born and raised Athlete of the Week. And if you would like to nominate an athlete, send the suggestion along via Twitter at MN Prep Spotlight. Reminder, Minnesota Prep Spotlight airs at 9:30 p.m. on 45 TV. Don't forget, we're also on Twitter At MN Prep Spotlight for all the latest prep sports news, links to streaming broadcasts, and more. That's at MN Prep Spotlight. Winner of this one will play Matamidi and the Zephyrs in the semifinal round. That'll be at 5 p.m. Thursday at Minnetonka High School. Championship Saturday, 6 p.m. right here at Chanhassen. Charlie Beatty on the call. Prep Spotlight TV, your home for the boys and girls lacrosse tournaments. Teams will switch ends. Corrington has done a very nice job in net for the Wildcats. He's been their guy most of the year. And understandably, with all the blowouts that Egan has had this year, they've given their backup Mitchell Vries a good amount of work as well. Looks like Corrington headed back, though, in the fourth quarter of this game. Due to the heat, the extreme conditions, evidenced by Colin Hagstrom, who in the previous game passed out on the sideline. There are definitely concerns about fatigue, so it wouldn't be surprising to see some of the benches come in here in the fourth with the game pretty much out of hand. Scrum for possession, won by Egan, and the fourth quarter is underway. Darby Sorensen, 3 goals, 1 in each quarter. Gives it off to Joseph Mills. Now running down behind with it, Cole Powell. He centers and they score. Isaac Piper, 4th of the game. Check that, 3rd of the game for Piper. He has a hat trick. 51 on the season. It comes just 30 seconds into the fourth. 49, 50, and 51, the goals tallied in this game for the junior Isaac Piper, who went from 19 goals, now over 50. A 30-goal increase from year to year. We mentioned that Egan lost 13 seniors, but here's the key. They retained their top 5 scorers. Piper was one of them, along with Wirtz, who had 27, Aaron Propson, Cole Powell, Andrew Chavatal. Clock will be moving the rest of the way now. 17-5 the score. Piper trying to shoot on the leap. Sorensen will keep this one onside. Stick check by Valentini, fruitlessly. Wirtz. Anoka and Eden Prairie in Thursday's first game, as we've got a chance on the back door for Egan. They score! Picked up off the ground, and Cole Powell deposited it into the back of the net. Powell's first of the day. Quick trigger on the shot. Good knee-jerk reaction. Good awareness. Powell, goal number 18. Came with about 10 minutes, 15 seconds to go. And with the clock moving, we're down to 9:35 and counting. clean win, but then given up. Valentini back for Greg. Christian Valentini behind for Jordan Newth. Lacrosse is a funny momentum game. Hard to believe that Lakeville North was so competitive in the first quarter. But they were. They looked the part. They were playing confidently, hitting their spots, and really going toe-to-toe with Egan. A 4-3 game toss-up after one quarter turned into a laugher at halftime. A lot of that has to do with the face-off. But the depth of this Egan team is pretty tough to overcome. Right now they've got Currington having the flexibility just to Hail Mary it down the field. This is Reed Tisdale sauntering across midfield. Over to Newth. Stays with the Panthers, 8 minutes to play. Prior Lake will take on Lakeville North in the second consolation semi on Thursday at 1. Consolation final, 11 a.m. Saturday. Continuing to cherry pick are the Wildcats. That long bomb evaded a leaping Brandon Wirtz. Now it's launched back downfield by Bowman. Mose. And a shot from Gale was saved. A 6-on-6 denial. Pirouette. And a flag out. Tate Sundberg took a tumble. Seven minutes to go. Penalty called against Lakeville North Scott Sather. The junior number 11 takes a knee. 6-on-5 coming for the Wildcats. (4-3) after 1, 12-4 after 2, 16-5 after 3. 3 lead changes in the first quarter, none since. We apologize, of course, if you missed the first part of this game due to technical issues. It was definitely the most competitive. Shot from the back door with the man advantage, and Egan continues to rack him up. Propson scoring that time, and time has been called with 6:13 remaining. Propson with his 40th of the year. Nice milestone for Aaron. Astonishingly, Egan has now scored 17 of the last 19 goals in this game. There's Bob Felter, the 12th year coach, who's branded this incredible variety of fast break lacrosse that has carried them to this point and might carry them all the way to the promised land. A reminder that this broadcast is brought to you in part by True Lacrosse MN. Get social and stay connected with True Lacrosse MN. Follow us on Twitter at True Lacrosse MN, or find us on Facebook by searching True Minnesota. Looking for fast care for your injured sports star? Visit the Urgency Room in Egan, Vadnais Heights, and Woodbury. Open 365 days a year. The ER doctors at the UR are always prepared. From breaks and sprains to concussions and chest pain, they've got you covered. Get to the Urgency Room and get back in the game fast. Egan has scored 4 goals consecutively. their next one gives them 20 for the third time this year. This is the most goals allowed by Lakeville North all season. They surrendered 14 in their section final. The defense disappeared at a bad time. Past the halfway point of the fourth. Shot in the goal, bottom corner. Jordan Newth, his 24th of the year.
Is that a new goalie?
Still some high fives all around. It appears, let's see if they have Vries in there. I think they do. Goalie change. Mitchell Vries, the senior goaltender, allows his 11th of the year. Newth scoring for Lakeville North as the clock continues to wind.
Goal scorer for Lakeville North, number 17, Jordan Newth.
Well, arguably, one or two surprises today. You could say that Wyzetta win was a bit surprising over Eden Prairie. Unseeded over a 2. And then even though Matamidi was higher seeded than Prior Lake, 4-5, you could say that was also a surprise, with the defending champs coming off a win over the number 1 team. But the Zephyrs persevered, coming back from a fourth quarter deficit in that one. Dylan Valentini. Friesen. Good centering pass, but that banks off of Newth and trickles wide. Gale back for Spanier, centering to Gale, and Gale scores. A hat trick for Gale. And it's back to a 12-goal game. Gale surpasses Newth now. He's up to 25 goals on the year. Scored it with about 4:05 remaining. Second time in the game that Lakeville North has scored consecutive goals. One more goal for the Panthers gets the clock stopped once more. Hoffman on the faceoff X. Valentini fumbles and regains. Dylan Valentini, 1 goal today. Friesen. This is probably the crispest that Lakeville North has looked since the first quarter. Shot by Greg, blocked. Staying with the Panthers, 2:50 to go. Tiring day of lacrosse, I'm sure, for many of these athletes. In the heat, earlier the heat index was reading in the mid-90s. The breeze not offering much respite. Greg goes down on the slip. Got kicked around on his heels. Scooped up there by Chavatal. Lowering shoulders and then prancing his way across midfield. Impressive job by Chavatal. Great catch by Diffley. Low roller goes wide. 2-minute warning in the game. So the semifinal round at Minnetonka, the championship here at Chanhassen. Saturday evening. Can Egan get past Matamidi? That game might be 25-24. Both teams with some exquisite finishers. McMurray, Valentini, Rohrbach, Murray fires. Save made Breeze. Knocked down in front, and the whistle will blow, giving it to Egan with 70 seconds left. Long outlet down the field from Owen Pixler. That's just going to go out of bounds. 53 seconds to go as Bowman brings it out of his net. Or out of his end, I should say. Got it forward. The offensive zone. Spanier. That tips off of Newth. Ball loose on crease. Stays with the Panthers. 35 seconds to go. Wirtz, Pfeiffer, and Sorensen, along with Diffley, 4 hat tricks today for Egan to lead the way offensively. And a goal from Newth with 13.9 to go. The clock will stop. Newth with his 25th of the year, his second of the game. 19-8, the identical score that Egan won their section final by. Played at East Ridge High School. And here on the opposite side of the Metro, equally dominant. Final face-off of the game. Egan moves to 16-1. Panthers drop to 9-8. Doesn't seem like the Wildcats burned too much energy in this one. They had it in hand at halftime. 5 seconds to go. Clock stopping and restarting. Egan gives it away to Greg, and the horn will sound. The Wildcats win it 19-8, highlighted by a 9-0 run in the first half that took them from 3-2 down to 11-3 up. Huge thanks to Mike Peterson, our cameraman and engineer. Scott Cater, our color man from earlier, Charlie Beatty, doing play-by-play for the first 2 games. My name is Sam Ekstrom. Again, we apologize.